Hi, Justin.
Hi.
Welcome to our first episode of Over Coffee at Bean Bar. I feel like you and I have been seeing each other quite a bit since the show, but it's always been about the show. So I wanted to bring you in and I wanted to get to know Justin and what you do, how you do it, why you do it, how long you've been doing it. And I thought, what better way to have a conversation than have it over a cup of coffee.
The best coffee
on the North Shore. But before we start, the first question of the day is, how do you take your coffee?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. I love my coffee black. I don't know. It's interesting because
Let's describe it as bold.
It's bold. I actually used to drink like sugary, like super sweet coffee, and then I don't even know how many years ago it was. I was doing a detox and couldn't drink any sugar, any cream, anything. So I started drinking black coffee, and I actually liked the taste of it.
Like your initial reaction was, tastes good?
No, my initial reaction was I spit it out and was like, this is disgusting. How do people drink it this way? But then I just got used to it.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
I'm trying to think. My office was like 100 feet away at the time. I don't know, probably about 15 years ago.
Okay, and you've never gone back?
I can't. If I have coffee that has any sweetener in it now, I'm disgusted by it. It's weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I've tried drinking black coffee. Now that I'm here, I'm drinking coffee all day. And the good news is I don't need sugar intake, but I do like a little like creaminess to it. I've tried black coffee and I can't. Maybe one day, maybe I'll start a detox and it'll work for me. But do you start every morning with a cup of coffee?
The first thing I do when I go downstairs. I've actually thought about putting a coffee machine in our room.
Oh, how does Carrie feel about that?
Carrie is not in favor of this.
She doesn't even drink coffee.
She doesn't even drink coffee. She doesn't like the flavor or taste of coffee at all. So.
Okay.
But yeah, when we bought our current house, we have this great balcony off our primary bedroom overlooking the backyard, and I envisioned having my morning coffee on the balcony. Never materialized. I don't think we've ever actually gone out and sat on that balcony in 3.5 years. But yeah, every morning, first thing I do when I get up, go downstairs and make myself a cup of coffee.
Okay, and what comes next? Walk us through day in the life of Justin Greenberg.
So a day in the life of Justin Greenberg has changed a lot over the years. It used to be first thing in the morning, I would make my coffee, I would sit down, I would do my checklist, my to-do list for the day, and then just like start jumping in and working. And now with 2 young kids, it's a little bit different.
They're adorable, by the way.
Thank you. They are the pride and joy of my life, but at the same time, lately, they're exhausting.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started with real estate?
Sure. So it's actually an interesting story. So I was going to school for graphic design and marketing, advertising. And it was my senior year of college. I grew up caddying. I caddied since I was actually 12 years old. You were supposed to be 13, but I lied.
Okay.
So started when I was 12. And I grew up caddying, and a bunch of the guys that I caddied for were actually commercial real estate brokers. So my senior year of college, they were talking to me, and they knew, I was in college and knew what I was going to school for. And they said, what are you going to do after college? And I said, well, I'm going to go into advertising. Like, that's what I'm going to school for. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, what do you mean, no, I'm not? They're like, no, you're not. You grew up here. You've worked here for 10, 11 years now. You want to be a member here one day. You're not going to make the kind of money you want to make in advertising. And the job market was super competitive.
And who told you that?
A couple of commercial brokers that I caddied for. And so one of them in particular said to me, why don't you go get your real estate license? You would be really good at it. You're personable. You know how to talk to people. And I took his advice. My senior year of college, I went over winter break. I did a 1-week course at a Century 21 in Skokie and did a 1-week course for real estate. And then the rest is kind of history from there. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this a shot.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I always talk to my kids about the power of networking.
Mm-hmm.
Wherever you are, whoever you're with, there's got to be an opportunity for you to network with somebody. And had you not started caddying at the age of 12, 13, you would have never met the people that kind of guided you to this direction. And you've been doing it for how many years now?
It'll be 19 years in 4 months.
Would you, if you could go back to your younger self, would you have told yourself to take a different path? Are there any what ifs in your head? What if you went the advertisement route?
That's a great question. I feel like, sure, there's always things that you would change if you went back in time. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I would have changed the direction of my schooling. I would have done some things different. I probably would have. It's interesting because back then there weren't real estate courses in college.
Right.
Today, like every college is offering a real estate course or real estate majors and minors.
It was something you did on the side, right?
Yeah.
Like in the evenings.
It was right. It was looked at as like a second or third career path. So when I came out of college at 22 years old and started in real estate, it was almost unheard of. Mm-hmm. So, but I was always very creative, and I was an art student in high school. So I don't know that I would have done something different initially. Mm-hmm. I think that was my passion, and I'm glad that I got that experience, because what I do in real estate every day is marketing. So without that background, I don't know that I would have had the success that I've had and built a brand. I mean, I don't know. I just enjoy that aspect of it.
It's a big deal. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm glad you stuck with it, and it's brought you this far. And
I'm glad too.
So how did you and Carrie meet?
So Carrie and I actually met online, technically, but we probably should have met a million times before that. So I was dating my ex.
Isn't Carrie here somewhere right now?
She's here, probably sitting 2 tables over. We met online, but actually met each other at a bar.
Very interesting.
Running into my friend.
And how many years ago was that?
Almost 15.
Okay.
15 this year.
15 this
15
year.
in June.
Very good. I do want to touch up on the show just a little bit. I just want to ask you how the show landed on your lap, or how did you come across? I think that's important for people to know, right? Why you were selected. I don't think you share that anywhere, right?
No, not publicly. I think like a lot of things in life, it was random. So the show has been around. A lot of people are not aware of this, but the show has been around for 11 years. So American Dream TV, American Dream Media has been around since the early 20-teens. And it's always been hosted by real estate agents. So they've got over 1,200 agents around the country that are hosts for variations of the show. I've known several of my colleagues who have done it over time. Some of them are still doing it. Some of them just did it for a little bit of time.
Colleagues from other
from
areas?
Real estate.
But
from
other
offices or other, mostly in Chicagoland. I really didn't know anyone else around the country.
Okay.
And so I randomly got an email inviting me to a casting call. And so I responded and said, sure, I'll go check this out. Had no idea what I was getting into. And so I go down to the city, I go to the Ritz and go up to the conference level, penthouse, whatever it was. And there's 100 real estate agents that are sitting in this room. Half of them I knew because I've done deals with them.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
I'm like, what is going on? I thought I had a casting call. They're like, yeah, this is the casting call. Turns out it wasn't really a casting call. It was a meeting to tell everyone about the show. But it was a different model that they were pitching.
Okay.
So I go there, I sit there, the executive producer, Craig, who's this great guy. He was on MTV. He was a TV host himself. He's always been in and around the real estate industry. I think he did some work with Cribs.
Oh, okay.
Which
I
missed.
remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
You know, I wish that show was
They
still
had
around.
Cribs and they had Pimp My Ride too, right?
Yes. That was
We don't
an interesting
see shows
show.
like that anymore.
No, we don't. So anyway, so Craig starts talking about this, and he's kind of going through the show, and their typical model is they'll have a 30-minute show that's made up of 5 different agents doing a 5 to 6 minute segment. And so he's talking about all of this, and then he puts up a slide of Ryan Serhant from $1 Million Listing New York.
Okay.
And he had a brand new show that was just launching on Netflix, and he kind of glanced over that slide pretty quickly. And I, being me, raised my hand and I was like, can you go back and talk about that? What is that other show that you're talking about? And he said, well, we also have this new model that we're going with where there's going to be one agent who's going to have their own custom branded show just for Chicagoland, and it's a totally new model, and you know, but we're very selective with that. And so I said, I'm interested in that. And he's like, Justin Greenberg, right? And I'm like, wow, he knows my name. Not thinking I'm wearing a name tag that says my name on it. But he looked down at his list and he said, you're actually on our list of people that we wanted to talk to.
Wow.
You have to be at a certain level of production to be even considered for that show. And so I had a call with him later that afternoon, and then a second call a couple days later, and then a third call and a fourth call, and a month later they came back to me and said, okay, let's go, let's do this. What do you want your show to be called? And I'm like, Chat GPT. What do I do?
Wow.
So that's how it all happened.
Kind of. So it happened like pretty quickly.
It was pretty quick. It felt like an eternity because
Well,
I was really excited about it, and I was also really nervous about it. And so I didn't really know whether they were going to select me. I knew it was competitive. I knew they were considering other people. But I mean, everything works out the way it's supposed to.
What was that like going against? I mean, you said you knew some of the people that were there. I don't necessarily know that if you would call them friends or not, but like, what was that like going against people that you knew? Was it awkward?
I don't know that it was awkward. I do remember sitting in that room kind of surveying and like watching people's reactions and faces, because they told you in that room, we're going to send you an email after this meeting and we want you to respond with 1, 2, or 3. One being, I'm on board, I'm interested, sign me up. 2 being, I have some questions, but I do have interest. And 3 being, this is not for me. So I'm kind of watching around the room, seeing what people's reactions are and seeing like who's engaging, who he's paying attention to. And I knew there were other people there from the show as well that were also there strategically placed to try and figure out who they wanted to work with. So I guess I was in a way sizing up the competition, but I didn't know who my competition was because I knew not everyone was on the list for this show and not everyone was going to be interested. But there were definitely people that I was looking at saying, I really hope they don't pick them because I don't want to compete against them.
I see.
So
tell us, I guess we touched upon the name a little bit. So is that something ChatGPT came up with, or a collaboration of Justin and ChatGPT?
It was a collaboration with a lot of people. Obviously, Carrie was involved in the decision. The executives at the network had some say. Okay. But I don't remember if ChatGPT came up with it. I wanted something that was unique. I knew there was another show from Portland that was Portland Unlocked. Okay. And so I liked the idea of Unlocked because, as you know, the show's not all about real estate. It's about businesses.
It's not. It's about businesses, yeah.
I was like, how do we incorporate real estate into the name of the show so that we can use some cross-branding for it? So I liked the idea of Unlocked. I didn't want it to be Chicago Unlocked because we're not just Chicago. It's Chicagoland. So I'm like, all right, how can we get creative with it? ChatGPT might have come up with it. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't want to give ChatGPT all the credit.
No, you shouldn't. So I want to touch up on production a little bit. I know heard you say the word production earlier. I know real estate is all about production, right? What does that look like? How many people do you have on your team currently?
So currently I have I shouldn't have to count this, but I do. I have 5 agents on my team, including 6 agents on my team, including myself. And then Carrie is our director of operations. We are looking at possibly bringing on another person as a marketing person for the team. So, what was the question?
How many people do you have on the team?
Okay. So technically 7 people.
And so for your team, does everybody have the same number of, sales or like production they have to make, or how does that get figured out?
No, that's actually, I think one of the things that's a little bit different about my team and the way that my team is set up is that a lot of teams are lead-based teams. So either the team leader is out there just generating a million opportunities and then passing those opportunities on to their team members, or they're paying for leads. So a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the top producing teams buy their leads off of like Zillow or Realtor.com or some other lead service. My team is set up where I really help coach my agents on how to grow their business the same way that I did. I had great mentors and great people who guided me to the success that I've had, and I feel like that's one of the ways that I can give back is to help other agents have that same level of success and help guide them through their career. So I built my team very strategically initially because my business was all over the place. I started in 2007. I would go anywhere I had to go for a deal. So I was going to the south side of Chicago. I was going to Naperville. I was going, to the Wisconsin border. And I didn't want to do that. So I was trying to find people that would be able to work in the city. Because as you know, it could take like 2 hours to get to the city. And then, you're sitting in the car and you're not productive. So I found agents that were in the city. I found agents that were in the north and northwest suburbs. And so I strategically built the team geographically, but now it's just the right people. I know team is important. We've talked about on my podcast, we talked about your team. I feel like I've got a great team as well. They're people that have different skill sets, have different strengths and weaknesses, but they all collaborate together really well. And so we've just got a great chemistry.
Great. How's your coffee tasting, Justin?
It's good. You guys have some of the best coffee in the area. Genuinely.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way.
How's your coffee?
I love my coffee.
Yeah.
I think I've become a complete coffee snob since opening this place. Before, I was okay with, even like my Keurig at home. Now, I think I talked about this at your podcast too, but even on the days I'm not supposed to be here, which doesn't happen that much, I still find myself making excuses to come here just so I can grab 1 or 2 or 3 lattes to go.
Yeah. I find myself doing the same thing.
Here? I think this has become one of your offices.
This has definitely become my office. And I think that's what this was intended.
Absolutely.
When I was here before we started today, I heard Dino say to 2 different people, "Your usual." When I'm talking to other people that have never been here, I'm like, Bean Bar is like my Cheers. Like everybody knows my name.
Yeah.
I come in here, I see people that are friends, family, co-workers. The guy we kicked out of this room before was one of my colleagues, another agent, and it's just a very comfortable place to come and work. And network.
And network. My kids get sick of me saying it because I'll say it every opportunity. I always tell them about the importance of networking. And that's something I actually learned myself when I worked in my previous job before Bean Bar, when I worked for the boutique investment banking firm. I basically I was hired, I was the first hire with the firm. It was a startup firm. And I'm very thankful that, my boss at the time gave me the chance with 0 experience, but he must have seen something in me that he thought would work. And I did end up staying with the company for, maybe like 9 or 10 years. I don't know exactly how many years now, but through my time there, I learned the importance of networking. And some of those people I still talk to to this day, and some of them have become my mentors.
I was
some
gonna
of
say
them
they're
have
probably people that you still talk to when you have a concept or an idea or
anything,
want to make a change.
Exactly. Or if I have like question about business management, anything. Like some of them have become a mentor, some of them have become a friend, and my boss too. We don't talk as much as we used to, but I'll still text him on his birthday. And it's just it's very important that you keep people in your life. There's a reason.
Well, and you touched on it too. This new next generation, like you're talking to your kids about networking, and I feel like people are afraid of the word. So it's almost like a trigger word, like, oh, networking, I have to talk to people.
Yes, their life is just social media and YouTube, and it's very important, and it's become a very, very important part of our daily lives. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's all about. And my kids, when they talk to me, sometimes I'm a bra. Like I'm not a bra.
I'm so glad we're not at that stage. Yeah, I did. Jackson said bra the other day. I was like, excuse me? What'd you say?
Yeah.
You're 6. No.
Yeah, I'm not your bra.
So, but networking, I attribute all of my success to networking. People think I'm an extrovert, but I'm not. I'm very introverted. Networking got me out of my shell.
I would agree with that. Me too. The Serah that started with the investment banking firm back in 2011 is not the same Serah that I am today. I mean, I've done a complete 360. I was shy, I was not very outspoken, and wasn't really open to like meeting new people, and now I'm the opposite. If you're, I want to meet you. If you're here, I want to meet you. I want to know who you are. I want to know your story, which is why, I came up with the idea of having this podcast, is where I want people of all walks of life to come in here and kind of talk to us about their story and what they do and why they do it, and maybe give some recommendations to people that are looking to go in your field, right? Or maybe, or someone that's looking to step out. So, which leads to my next question. If you were in a room with a whole bunch of, younger generation right now, and they said, oh, I want to be you when I grow up, Justin Greenberg, what are some recommendations you would make for them?
Grow a goatee and shave your head. You know what? I meet with people all the time that are like, I want to go into real estate. I want to be a successful realtor. And people may not want to hear the advice that I give sometimes, because a lot of the time my advice is, you sure? Are you really sure that's what you want to do? I think people see the glamorous side of our industry, and they don't necessarily see the sacrifice, the hard work, the business aspect of it. And you're essentially, as a real estate agent, you're running a business.
You are. So what are the sacrifices?
It can be very demanding. There's a perception that you're only working when you're showing houses. You're only working when you're making these videos. But a lot of the time I'm working late at night. There's times that I'm up negotiating a deal until 2 a.m. There's times where I'm at my kids' sporting events, and I really try and set strong boundaries. But at the same time, you're dealing with someone's largest investment or the largest sale of one of their best assets that they own.
And it's a long-term investment, right?
And it's a long-term investment.
Right. It's not an impulsive buy.
No.
Right.
No. And I mean, a lot of times people think real estate, like it's so glamorous. And it's really not. Like, you should see all the times that I'm sitting there in my sweatpants, or I'm at the gym trying to work out. I probably should go back to the gym and try and work out. But when I am at the gym working out, and all of a sudden I have to step away and I'm on a phone call for 30 minutes, and then I look at the clock, I'm like, oh crap, I got an appointment.
That's my time.
Yeah. So, there's ways around that. You can set boundaries, but a lot of people struggle with that, especially when they're starting off, because you don't have a salary. You don't have income.
Right.
Your income is what you sell.
I agree with you, and I feel like I'm in a similar boat. You know, as you know, we're looking to expand, so I'm working on that a little bit and talking with our broker and going and scouting locations and looking for locations. And one of the things I've always tried to do, and I think it's very important, and as I'm getting older, I'm finding that it's starting to click. For me, life and work balance have been very important for me, which is why I never, after having kids especially, and my kids are older now, for me it was, if I had stayed in investment banking, yes, I possibly would have been making a lot more money, but I never wanted to I didn't choose money over my family and life and work balance. And I didn't want a job that was going to require me to travel 4 days out of the week and not see my kids. So although I may be working more hours now, I feel like with being in the restaurant industry, yes, it's very demanding, but it's given us a chance to finally find the life, that balance, and I'm so thankful for it, especially with Bean Bar. Thankfully, I get to go home a little bit earlier now, but I think with time, staying committed, you find that balance somehow, and everything works out at the end of the day.
It does, and you and I talked about this a little bit before as well. There's so many similarities, even though our two businesses are so totally different in so many ways. There's still very much similarities, and I feel like every business. And I'm excited to see your podcast going forward, because you can always learn something from someone in a completely different industry, in a completely different area of the world, and take something from that. You're always learning. You're always, trying to grow and expand.
I hope this podcast does exactly that. We're not here to just, talk about Bean Bar and my story. That's not what that's not the intention of this at all. I want people like you to come in and have a chance to tell your story, and for our viewers to take something away from it. Well, thank you, Justin.
Episode 30.
Who knows if there's going to be an episode 30.
No, I'm sure there will be. It's just crazy to think about it.
Is there? We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want another cup of coffee?
No. My God, no.
I think we can cut now. Cut.